All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of deck theory crafting, okay? I've got this idea. I actually kind of went over some of the idea in the Bonnie video I did recently. I think 2 days ago at the time you're recording this, I put out a video on Bonnie. And I came across a certain type of curve that can be built into the deck. I called it the 458 style build or Bruiser build or whatever. And we're going to be re-exploring that in today's video because I think it's actually a curve or a build that can be incorporated into just about any green deck moving forward. We'll have to see. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into this, guys. Let me lay out the video real quick. First things first, we are going to be checking out one game on the sim, okay? And then after that, we're going to head over to the deck builder on the sim, and we're going to check out a bunch of different ideas for what's going on there. Okay, we're gonna do a lot of brainstorming in today's video. Okay, guys, just so that we're 100% clear up front, we're going to be doing a lot of thinking, a lot of brainstorming in today's video. That's going to be the bulk of the content for today. And then after that, we will recap. I'll tell you guys what I think about it moving forward and all that good stuff. Okay, so I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and stuff like that in the comment section below. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. A link will be in the channel description. Today's video is brought to you by Nin Garden, and pre-orders are now open for 4 new playmats, including Chaos Crew, Green Fury, and Absolute Ruler. They also carry apparel like the Kings of Heart tee and matching pin. Plus, for this month only, take part in their Halloween Mystery Playmat sale, which comes with 10 free card sleeves with your order. And don't forget to use the code TheVVTheory at the checkout to get 8% off on your next order. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the first and only game we have for today's video. We have a game of Red-Green Luffy versus Red-Blue Ace, okay? So let's get the volume off. Let's get the speed on 2x, and here we go. Now, let me say this up front here, guys. This list is using the curve we're going to be talking about more in today's video. And it seems like it's going to be pretty strong, and it's going to be customizable across pretty much every single green deck, especially multicolored green decks. Okay, so with Red-Green Luffy, we're going second here, and you do want to go second for this curve to be perfect, and we're going to play out 2 Garps to fix our hand. Red-Green Luffy might get the most out of what we're going to be looking at today, but who knows? Maybe Green-Blue Sanji, or Green-Blue Zoro and Sanji might. We'll have to see. So here we go. We're playing out perfectly on curve. So we did turn 1, double Garp search. Turn 2, Zoro, that's the one that has on play to stand 2 Dawn as active. And then at the end of your turn, you stand the Zoro as active if your leader is, I think it's Film or Straw Hat Crew. Okay, we swing in for 6. It looks like the Red-Blue Ace player here is going to cash in on the Ezo early on, and they're going to fix their hand and then pass it back to us. Now, we have a lot of cards in hand, and we've done a lot of searching, and what's this? Oh, they have 4 Dawn active. I wonder what they're going to do. Look, they almost attacked in, and they said, nah, I'm just going to play out this pudding. So we're going to go ahead and use the leader effect here to go to 7,000 to match their attack. Now we have to do 1 or 2k over to save ourselves from the hit. We are going to get out of this very aggressively here, guys. I don't want to get hit with another pudding, and I want to keep my I want to keep my health relatively high. Okay, so here we go. We're going to play out a Luffy. Now, luckily, guys, pause. When they hit us with that pudding, we actually got a pretty nice follow-up hand. They may or may not have fixed our hand a little bit there. Most of the times, it's really terrible to get hit with a pudding, because look at this, guys. We only have 1 game to go over today, so we're going to spend a little bit of time on this. We had 7 cards in our hand when they hit us with that pudding, and what we wanted to play afterwards, so we were on a 4 Dawn turn. Next turn, we'd be on 6 Dawn, right? We wanted to play out this 6-cost Luffy into whatever else we can do for the turn, into this 8-cost Rosinante, okay? But watch what happens when they hit us with this pudding. Watch this, guys. Look at the cards they give me. Now, it's totally random. No one can know what's going to happen, right? But they kind of actually fixed our hand ever so slightly, where we still have the Luffy going into the Rosinante, but before the pudding had happened, we didn't have the 5-cost Bonnie to follow up with it, okay? So they did kind of fix our hand there. Okay, so we end up countering out of that attack, and here we go. All right, so now they're going to pass the turn back to us. Now we're going to go into our 6 Dawn turn, and we're going to be able to establish this Luffy right on curve, standing 4 Dawn is active, and now we can attack him pretty aggressively for the turn. We're just going to swing for 6. We're not trying to load up too much. We want to use our Red-Green Luffy leader's effect this this following turn on my opponent's turn so we can get out of some of their attacks for free. Okay, swing for 6. They took the hit. They're going to draw an extra card from their leader effect. We're swinging in for 6. They trash a card from their hand with their other leader effect to get out of that attack. Okay, well, we have 2 Dawn active. We can get out of a 9,000 power attack pretty much for free. Or, excuse me, an 8,000 power attack pretty much for free this turn. Okay, but they're going to go ahead and use a Flame Emperor to KO my Luffy and swing for 9,000 with double attack. So we use our leader effect and get out with a 2K. Very nice. Red-Green Luffy has a very powerful defensive ability. Okay, now here's the play, guys. This is the main play to really consider, guys. When it comes to what we're looking at today for the curve, getting to this 8 Dawn turn in a healthy enough spot, you know, with enough life is what I'm saying. That's why we were countering out as aggressively as we could, too, right? It's a very defensive leader ability we have, so let's use it, and let's stay as high life as possible, so that way when we curve out onto our 8 Dawn turn, we can slam down the Rosinante, cheating out, in this case, the Bonnie, allowing us to do a draw 2 trash 1 and stand a Dawn as active. Really, really good stuff there. Okay, so now we have a pretty good board. We still have the Zoro, and luckily our opponent's a 6,000 power leader, or we could have attacked very aggressively this turn. Okay, so we swing for 6 with our leader, and we're just going to pass the turn back. They're going to use I Am Whitebeard, taking a life card to go plus 2,000 on their leader for the turn until the end of their opponent's next turn, my next turn. And now they're going to be able to swing in, and the new gate they cheat out, put 2 Dawn on a character and 2 Dawn on the leader. So right here, guys, I end up just blocking with the Bonnie because I basically, how do I say this? I don't think it really mattered in the end. I wanted to get out of this attack pretty much no matter what. And I wanted to keep my life as high as possible, so I countered out of this, and then I was hoping my opponent would attack into my board. I don't care if they go for the Rosinante or the Jewelry Bonnie. I don't care which one they go for. They're probably, I think if I remember correctly, they're going to go for the blocker here, which is probably a pretty good call because I'd rather keep my blocker options open. Okay, here we go. They're about to swing for 10,000 into the Bonnie. I'm going to let it go. That's fine. We got to keep the bigger body on the board because our follow-up turn is what you see in our hand minus the Sanji. We drew the Sanji for the turn. Our follow-up turn was going to be to pull back a Garp with the 6-cost Law to play out another Joy Bonnie to fix our hand and get some card advantage in that way if we need it. Okay, so we swing 5 into 4, and they save the card. I don't think that's the right call, guys. Don't waste any more Dawn on saving this Bonnie, or excuse me, this pudding. Just let the card go. We're just smashing into it with our characters with no Dawn investment. We're just chipping away at them. Okay, they end up letting that go. Now, we're not going to attack in with the Rosinante because they could just block for free with the new gate. Okay, so we play out the Sanji, so that way we can play out the Bonnie as well. Okay, that was a pretty technical play there, guys. The Trafalgar Law costs 6 Dawn. We only have 10 Dawn. But somehow, on a 10 Dawn turn, we just played out 14, or excuse me, I can't even do math, guys, 11, 16 Dawn's worth on one turn, right? Because we were able to go play out the Law for 6, pulling back the Garp, to play out the Sanji, standing 2 Dawn as active, okay? Then we, now we're back up to 6 Dawn, right? Because we went down to 4 Dawn to play out the Law for 6, going back up to 6 Dawn. Now we play out the Bonnie, and we have plenty of rested cards to do her draw 2 trash 1, and we'll get to stand another Dawn as active. Draw 2 trash 1. Our board is completely full right now, and my opponent's in a little bit of trouble here. And guys, this is what I'm talking about. Being able to do that Rosinante into Bonnie, that secret into secret combo is pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. Very, very strong. And now remember, I didn't attack with my Rosinante. Excuse me, I should have said Law into Bonnie, because last time we did the Rosinante into it, but this time we did the Law into the Sanji, into the Bonnie. Super, super powerful combo there. They get rid of our only blocker with another Flame Emperor, guys. But we have 2 Dawn as active and a Dawn attached to our leader for the leader effect. Okay, as it turns out, we have 2 2K counters in hand, and we're going to use the effect to go plus 4,000, and then plus 2,000, plus 2,000. We're going to get to 13, get out of this double attack. We're fine. Does he want to attack with that blocker? He is tapped out. He has 1 life and 5 cards in hand. Okay, here we go, guys. So right here, I am going to do a lot of chip damage. Let's pause. Can we figure out lethal here? I'm swinging for 8,000 first, but I'm going to be honest. Let me say this right now, guys. I don't think I actually intended to go for lethal here. I just wanted to do a bunch of poke damage, and then I was going to leave my Trafalgar Law open and go from there. But watch this. My opponent chooses to do things in a very interesting way. So I'm going to swing for 8,000 first. They're going to give me a 2K and a 1K. I'm going to swing for 8,000 more. So every time, this is going to cost 2 cards. Guys, did we have lethal calculated? Let's just do it real quick. I swung for 8,000 first. That's 2 cards from hand. Here comes another 8,000. That's going to be 2 more cards from hand. And then if I swing for 8,000 more, he has to take it or block. And then it will be 8,000 more that he has to take. And then all the rest would be, I think, 9,000 would be the final attack. And then if he had enough 2K counters, he technically would have been able to live. But at what cost? I have 3 life, and then he'd have no cards left in hand, and we can win on the next turn. So here we go. Let's see what happens here. So 8,000 at a 6. He's going to block. Okay, now right here, I almost swung with the Trafalgar Law first, but then I started thinking, like, what if he has a Red Rock or a Grav Blade as his last life card? So I swing with the Zoro, and what's this, guys? That's right, the Gum Gum Red Rock, got rid of that, but we already swung with it, so it didn't matter. So now I'm going to swing for 6 to get a card out of hand. He has no more counter in hand. He had to use his leader effect. Now we're swinging for 11, and this is going to be GG. He would have had to have all 2K counters in his hand to get out of that attack there. Okay, so good stuff there, and my opponent was able to remove my characters pretty aggressively in a few turns in a row, right? Or maybe it wasn't in a row, but he was able to Flame Emperor one character, Flame Emperor another. So my opponent had a pretty decent pull into what I was trying to do on the board. Okay, so good game to my opponent. Now, let's head over to the deck list here. Before we look at the deck list, I want to lay out something real quick. So this is kind of like the framework for today's video, right? What you see on the screen here is I'm trying to create some type of package within green that can just be interchangeable, universally interchangeable between all different green decks. And some cards will not work in every single leader, right? Like, for example, we were messing around with Red Green Luffy in today's game, right? In the example game. And Red Green Luffy has access to the red cards, obviously, and therefore Garp. Garp can change a lot of different factors for us because it has a lot of searchable options. However, if you're running a deck that doesn't have a searcher that strong, I mean, I don't think there's any searcher that strong other than this EB02 event, which does not have a counter. This is a brick in hand. However, like I was saying, if you're not running a searcher that strong, well, no problem. Just take out the Garp and replace it with this searcher, right? That's the whole idea is, you're going to be able to kind of use this layout right here across the board for whatever green deck you're trying to build. That's the whole theory crafting we're doing today. That's the whole idea. Now, we're going to break down the deck list in just a minute, guys, but let me walk through this real quick so hopefully it starts making sense to the people who haven't picked up on it yet. So the whole idea for this deck is we want to go second. We can go first, it's fine, but going second is really, really solid because watch this. We go turn 1 Searcher into turn 2 Uda. Be sure to pause and read these cards, guys, if you don't know what they do, okay? This is going to allow us to play out a card that it can't quite protect itself, but it does allow us to, play a character out of our hand if we have enough 5-cost characters in our deck to where we have some in our hand consistently. Okay, then on our 6th on turn, we're going to skip past these 3 real quick, guys. Hold your breath on these. Keep these, in your memory real quick. We're going to come back to these. But we can go right on curve from a 4-Dawn Uda into a 6-Dawn Luffy. Okay, the 6-Dawn Luffy is a great play on 6-Dawn because we get to get all that Dawn back, right? Read what this on play does, guys. Now, your leader does have to be multicolored for this effect, guys. However, if you're not running a multicolored leader, I'm sure we can find other options. If it's just a mono green leader, you can always just run something like this Law for your 6-Dawn, your 6-Dawn play. But this card is a threat as soon as it hits the board. It's a 6-cost 7K with double attack, and you stand all that Dawn is active, which you can play out another 4-cost character with if you need to. Okay? Then after this, going into your 8 Dawn turn, we'll talk about Hody Jones in a minute, obviously. 8 Dawn, you have this Rosinante. And I have to say, guys, this is kind of this card right here, Rosinante plus the Uda and Trafalgar Law, these are kind of the 3 cards. The Uda, the Trafalgar Law, and the Rosinante. They can all cheat out these 5-cost characters. Now, they do have to be green, okay? In the case of Rosinante, it has to be a green character, but in the case of Trafalgar Law, it just says play up to 1 character card with the cost of 5 or less from your hand rested, and Uda also says play up to 1 character card with the cost of 5 or less from your hand rested. So Uda and Trafalgar Law, they don't care what color card you're spitting out, but Rosinante does require to force out a 5-cost green character, exactly 5 costs, by the way. Trafalgar Law and the Uda can cheat out a 5-cost or lower character, but Rosinante can only cheat out a 5-cost character exactly. Okay, but look what it does, guys. It's an 8-cost, 8,000 power character that spits out this character onto the board, and now it's protecting it as well because you had to rest the Rosinante just to put the card out, and now it's protecting any what does it say? If this character's rested, your your active characters with an original cost of 5 cannot be KO'd by effects. So really, really powerful stuff there. And then last but not least, and actually I should mention one more. Another very decent option would be this Dracula Mihawk. This is another great card, and look what it does. It stands 4 Dawn is active. That's going to have synergy with our 4 Dawn play. Again, it all kind of just goes together. It's going to be all about having this curve, though, because then finally you max out your potential here with the 10 cost Dofi, and you just lock down the entire board, right? Whatever your opponent attacked with last turn, it's just getting locked down, and then you're going from there. Okay, so now, going back to the 5 cost targets, I think one of the strongest plays you can play, or that you can do in this whole idea here, is playing out Rosinante for 8 Dawn, which means you have 8 Dawn rested to cheat out this Bonnie right here. And again, you have 8 Dawn rested just to use the effect of the Rosinante. You're drawing 2, trashing 1, you have a blocker now, and you stand a Dawn as active. Insane levels of value. For 8 Dawn, you basically just got 13 Dawns worth, and really 14 because you get the Dawn back as active as well. And now you get to draw 2, trash 1, and you have a blocker that cannot be KO'd by effects because of the Rosinante. So, again, just absolutely incredible synergy there. And then, again, we have all these other ways to cheat out 5 cost cards as well, like with the Uda and the, the Trafalgar Law. Okay, Trafalgar Law is really good because whatever searchers you decide to run in your deck, if you're not trying to run say you're trying to run like Kid and Killer Searcher, because we're about to look at this red-green Luffy deck, we're running Kid and Killer Searcher and Garp in there. Well, Trafalgar Law just says, okay, I'll pull my Searcher back and cheat out one of these insanely powerful 5-cost characters, something like Joribani or something like Carrot. There's other options as well. Carrot's another just really good option to lock down the board. Okay, so that's the whole idea. And then, of course, Hody Jones, I didn't mention this, but, you know, there's not much to say here. Hody Jones is just one of those cards that you can run in any green deck, and it can just straight up win you games. Okay, that's just the bottom line. Okay, now, there's the layout. That's kind of the concept we're dealing with today for what green has access to right now to build across whatever green deck you're trying to make work. Okay, now, let's look at today's actual list, right? This is the red-green Luffy list we were running today. I'm going to read the leader and then run through the list, and we'll talk about, you know, how things can change based off what leader you're running for the package we just talked about. Okay, so this is red-green Luffy from OP-13. It's a 5,000 power, 4-life Supernova Straw Hat Crew leader with the effect Dawn ×1 on your opponent's attack. If you have 5 or less active Dawn cards on the field, or on your field, excuse me, you may rest any number of your active Dawn cards, and then up to one of your leader or Straw Hat Crew type characters gains plus 2,000 power for each Dawn that was rested by this effect. Now, I'm going to run through the entire deck list real quick, guys. If you don't know what these cards do, be sure to pause and read them as I mouse over them. So we're running 4 of the Searcher Garp, 2 of the of Kid and Killer. We're running 2 different Kid and Killers here. So this is the Rush one from EB01. We're running 2 of the 2K counter Blocker Choppers from OP10, 4 of the Searcher Kid and Killer. Running 4 Zoro. This is the new OP-13 Zoro. We're going to talk a lot about this card in a minute. Running 4 of the 2K counter PRB02 Zoros. 4 Cavendish, 2 Trafalgar Law, running 4 Joribani, 4 Sanji, 4 X-Drake, the 2K counter from ST24, 3 of the OP-13 Bounce Law, and then we have 3 of the 6-cost Secret Luffy from OP-13, 3 Rosinantes, and 3 Doflamingos, the 10-cost. So, now this is like a perfect example of how you can mix and match the list into whatever you need it, right? Okay, so in this case, we still keep the core package in here. We have the Rosinante built in. We have the Joribani. We have this Luffy because we are a dual-color leader. We're a multicolored leader, so we can run the Secret Luffy. And, oh, what's this? We're a Supernova leader. Cool. Let's throw Cavendish in there. Okay, let's also throw in this Zoro right here because we're a Supernova and Straw Hat Crew leader. We can run this card. Okay, pause and read this card, guys. It is insane. You're going to keep standing it up, and you stand 2 Dawn when you play it out. Really incredible card. Well, wait a minute. Now we have a lot of Supernova cards in here. Okay, let's run the Supernova Searcher. You see where this is going, guys? It all starts building off of that core package. And I think, like I said, I think you can run this in just about anything, guys. I'm going to give 2 other examples in today's video. But the one last thing I want to mention is this this 1-cost Garp. Now, this is just incredible, right? This 1-cost Garp here, if your leader is Luffy, Sabo, or Ace, you get to do a top 4 search and grab any card that costs 3 or more. So we can search, with this card right here, we can actually search up every single card in the deck other than Kid and Killer, and of course other than itself. So it's just one of those situations where, okay, this card allows us to get away with whatever we want to. We can curve out, it doesn't matter what type some of these cards are because of Garp. Now, the Kid and Killer is still a really good searcher in here because notice how this works with our leader, right? First of all, we can search up all these different supernovas. We're running a lot of supernovas in here, guys. Kid and Killer, this Zoro, Cavendish, both of the Trafalgar Laws, this Bonnie, this X-Drake is also supernova. So we can search up our 2K counters and stuff with it. It's just incredible. And then that on your opponent's attack effect, you may trash this character and select up to one of your Dawn cards and set it as active. Well, guys, as long as we have one Dawn attached to our leader, that's basically trash this character and get a 2K, right? Just absolutely incredible with the way that that works. Okay, so this is the idea here. Now, we're going to look at another list. First, we're going to look at the list from yesterday, which was a Bonnie list that was running, or not from yesterday, excuse me, I think it's from 2 days ago at the time you're recording this. This Bonnie list was using basically the same concept here, guys. Look at this. We were running the Rosinante and the secret Rosinante and the secret Bonnie. And then we were running the 2-cost searcher here. So let's just follow the curve. And again, it's always meant to be an even curve. In the odd curve, we'll talk about a little bit later. You can adjust it as you see fit. But you basically just keep a Dawn active, you know, where you can use it however you need to on your leader to swing extra or whatever. But our second curve is what we want to focus on, our going second curve. So we get to go turn 1, we are. Into turn 2, we can play out Uruj, Tashigi, or Uda. Okay, or technically this blocker Zoro, but probably not the best idea early on. Not a great card to play out on curve, let me say it like that. But we can play out any of these cards right here on turn 2, these 4-cost cards, into our 6 Dawn turn. This one didn't have specifically a 6 Dawn curve, but I think adding this Bounce Law would have been very, very good for the deck. I think this is something I should have added, but did not. After doing more testing, I actually think I would have run this Trafalgar Law over the Dracula Mihawk. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that, guys, because it's so nice to be able to play this out and pull something back. But one thing that does kind of hurt this card is there's not a whole lot to pull back, right? That's the one problem with this card in this version of the deck is what are you going to pull back? Now, the answer is whatever you can, right? Like, if you could pull back this Uda after attacking with it, just do that anyway, just to be able to cheat out like a 5-cost character or something like that. Maybe this Carrot, maybe this Cavendish, this Bonnie, whatever. But I do think this might be actually a slightly better fit for this version of the deck because it'll fix the curve, right? We'll have our 6 on play. Otherwise, we have all of these 5-cost characters that we can play out and leave a Dawn active for the leader. But then going into our 8 Dawn play, we have the Rosinante, which can cheat out the Joy Bonnie, which will give us an active Dawn even for our leader effect. Incredibly powerful. And then, of course, we finish off with the 10-cost Doflamingo. And then anything after that, any following turn after that, okay, good luck. We might have Hody Jones coming in to just crash through the gates with, right? Just incredible stuff here. Okay, that was the Bonnie list. Now, I've got one more list to show y'all, something I've been working on as well. I don't have any game for this, unfortunately, but it is another list based around this same idea with Isho. I just want to show how, you can just use this package all over the place and make adjustments wherever you need to. Now, we were not running the 4-cost Zoro in the Bonnie list, because notice what the Zoro says. End of your turn, you do get to set the character as active, so maybe it's worth running regardless. However, the on-play effect is what I really love about this card, especially, well, depending on what deck you're running, but the on-play effect can only be used if your leader's Film or Straw Hat Crew. So that's why I wasn't running this card in Bonnie, but again, maybe it's still worth running regardless, just to play on tempo, so we can keep attacking with this card and keep setting it as active, okay, at the end of your turn, right? Now, check this out, guys. Here's an Isho list here. Look what we're doing here. We've got our 2-cost play right here. We can either search with Baby 5 or play out the Sugar. I mean, probably not a good play on turn 1, but we have that option, or even establishing a Rosinante. That's actually not the worst call, is establishing a Rosinante early on and going from there. But otherwise, we can do some searching. We've got a lot of stuff we can search up here that's Don Quixote Pirates. Not as much as I'd like in the list, but it's an option, right? We have these 3 Doflamingos. We have these Rosinantes or Doflamingo. We have, of course, the 5-cost is as well, and I think there might be a few others, Sugar and Rosinante. So again, not a whole lot of good search targets for Baby 5, or let me say it like this. Those are very good search targets, but there's not a whole lot of options. It can search itself up because it is the Activate Main 1-cost searcher. So 4, 8, 10, plus 6, plus 4 here. So it's around 20 searchable targets, I believe. I might have missed some. Y'all bear with me. But either way, that's plenty, and then they have to attack into this, or else we're getting tons of value every single turn. Okay, so there's our 2-cost play. Into our 4-cost play, we have this Uda, which can cheat out. Look at all these 5-costs, guys. If they KO this card, we can cheat out an X-Drake, a Carrot, Doflamingo the blocker, this Bonnie, or even X-Drake the 2K counter. Now, our leader is not Supernova, so you won't get the special effect, but it doesn't matter. It's a 2K counter, and you're going to be able to cheat this out with your with the on KO from Uda, or even potentially from the 8-cost Rosinante. That's the only reason we're running this 2K counter. Then we have, of course, going into our 8 Dawn plays here, we have... well, actually, did I skip over I think I was just explaining what Uda could cheat out, but we could play any of these cards on our 6 Dawn turn, and then going into our 8 Dawn turn, we have the Rosinante play that we already know about now, and the 10 Dawn play with Doflamingo. And guys, with this specific version of Isho, we're running 4 2K counter Surus just so we can hit some really big targets with Carrot, right? Carrot can already hit a 7-cost target, and so can Electrical Luna. So if we go -2, think about this, guys, for a 2 Dawn investment, we can attach a Dawn to our leader and then play out Subaru for 1. And now Carrot or Electrical Luna can hit a 10-cost character, right? Now, Electrical Luna will hit all 7-cost characters, but the point is, if they have a 10-cost and a bunch of 7-cost characters on their board, okay, we'll reduce their 10-cost to a 7 and then slam down Electrical Luna, and all of their rest of characters are locked down now. And in the same way with Carrot, if we play this out, again, that's only a 2 Dawn investment to go Suru and attach a Dawn to Isha, which now you're going to swing for 6 with. And then for 5 more Dawn with Carrot here, or 3 more Dawn with Electrical Luna, you can go from there. So it has a lot of options. And again, we have all this different potential. And guys, there's a lot of different leaders we can try this whole idea in. And that's where I need your guys' help, okay? I'm doing a lot of brainstorming, a lot of theory crafting here. But I want to know what you guys think. What would probably be the best leader to pull off this curve, guys? And let me get that on the screen real quick. I do want to let me go back to Red Green Luffy real quick, and I'm going to leave the curve on the screen. Actually, maybe I should use the bonding one. Yeah, we'll use the bonding curve here. Okay. And I just want to get all these cards off the screen and just leave the cards on here that are just like the most generic for what we're trying to do. Right? So we'll keep these on. We'll keep these on. There we go. So there's basically the core of the package here. That 2, oh, and I'm missing the 6 cost. Hang on, I'm missing the 6 cost law. So that's kind of the whole core of the package is right here, what you see on the screen. And it can adjust however you need it. So now looking at all the leaders, let's just kind of go through them all real quick. Red Green Odin, probably not the best option for this because you do want a lot of Land of Wano characters in the deck. But who knows? Maybe we can make some adjustments from there. But I will say this is a deck, any deck that is super specific where you need type fixing built in, probably not the best option. But even something like this Red-Green Law, look at this. If you have 5 characters, return one of your characters to the owner's hand, then play up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less of a different color as the return character from your hand. So we can definitely make something like this work potentially. Not saying it's the best call, but there's some potential there. Got this old Luffy, same idea. Now this one you do have to stand up your Supernova or Straw Hat characters, so you'd have to base it around that. Red-Green Chopper, probably one of those leaders that, notice it's very specific. You can only use Animal and Drum Kingdom type to make this work. And half of the deck would already not be those things, right? So that would not work out. And understand with Luffy, guys, we're running a lot of Supernova and Straw Hat stuff in the deck. That's the only reason that this type locking would work for us, right? Now, Red-Green Smoker, who knows? We don't have a lot of Navy or Punk Hazard type characters in the deck, but we could make some adjustments. Maybe run Virgo in the list, or who knows what. We could make some adjustments there. We already talked about Luffy. This is a promo card. Green-Purple Luffy. Now, this is another one super specific where you have to have Straw Hat cards. Won't work very well in here, right? Now, for the monocolor leaders, too, that's another thing we should probably stay away from for the most part, but who knows? Like this this Kazuki Odin, it's focusing more on the Wano country stuff, or Land of Wano stuff. We don't have enough there. Same idea with Kinemon. These are focused on a specific type, probably won't help too much. Sanji, this is focused on a specific type of card that is vanilla based. Again, maybe we can make something work there, because I'm trying to think about it. Maybe we run out a card like this Uda, and that would allow us to maybe, no, never mind. I don't know. Blue-green Sanji, probably not the best for what we're trying to do here. But there are some ideas I have where you could run a bunch of like vanilla characters, whether it be like, 5 cost 7Ks or 5 cost 6Ks with 2K counters. There could be some option there, but probably not the best. Kuro, very focused around East Blue. But we shouldn't overlook this one. I will say that, because there is an East Blue Searcher. Let me type that up in Nami. We can actually, this is a 2-cost card we can play out on curve. So we could actually manipulate this to be more in line with what we need, right? We probably could make something work here, like, for the curve and everything with the 4-cost Arlong. And then we have the 2-cost Nami here. And then maybe we don't necessarily need Uda in this version of the list, because Arlong is just a really solid turn 4, Well, you know, going second, though. Yeah, going second does work, excuse me, because they would swing in on their first turn, and now we can lock down the leader, and they have one less attack to deal with on the next turn, and we can follow up with our Trafalgar Law on our 6th turn to pull back the 2-cost Nami Searcher and go from there. But we'd have to do quite a few adjustments, and if we have enough East-Blue targets, maybe it'd be worth trying, right? Okay, so that was Kuro. Going over to Green-Yellow Arlong. Now, this is a trigger-style leader. Probably will not work in here. I would doubt it would work in here. Green-Purple Doflamingo. All right, so now it's going to start getting interesting now that we're at the later half here. Green-Purple Doflamingo, it already has a decent, like, I don't know if you guys saw in the, let me go to the Green-Black eShow list I was messing around with. I was already considering running a Green-Black, you know, Don Quixote Pirates package in the list with some of the extra stuff we were messing around with there. So I actually think that could be very, very interesting in Doflamingo. Maybe something I'll mess around with in the future, because I'm already running the 8-cost Dofi and the 8-cost Rosinante and the 10-cost Dofi, the 5-cost Dofi in here. Could be something there. Maybe not. We'll have to see, but that's very interesting. And getting the 2 Dawn active at the end of the turn, maybe we can incorporate more defensive events. Green-Blue Rosinante. I'm not going to lie, this is very interesting here, guys, because this is a Navy Don Quixote Pirates leader, so that gives us access to sugar. Now, of course, so does Doflamingo, right? But this has, actually, hang on. No, if your leader is Don Quixote Pirates, yeah, so it should work in Rosinante as well. I'll say, wait a minute, is it locked to Doflamingo the leader only? But no, it says Don Quixote Pirates in the texture. So we would have access to sugar, and then we could protect it, and we could protect our board better. This pack is actually for this deck, this is a multicolored deck, so maybe we should run with more of the red-green Ace, the red-green Luffy package we were looking at here, because then you have access to this Luffy that you can play out on curve, and that could just be disgusting, guys, where you go, okay, turn 1, we play out the 2-cost sugar, into turn 2, Zoro might still be worth playing, I'm not going to lie, but there's probably other better options I haven't looked into yet. And then right into a 6-Dawn Luffy, into an 8-Dawn Rosinante plus Bonnie. Just awesome. Just seems like there's a lot of potential there. Hody Jones is more about, let me see, rest up to 1. You may rest this leader and then rest up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 3 or less, or one of their Dawn. So who knows? Maybe that's actually just generically very good as well, and we already would want to run something like the 7-cost Hody Jones in this list, so then we wouldn't lose a life card from the effect, right? So Hody Jones actually could be kind of decent with what we're doing here. Perona has no chance. Keep going. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All the Perona players are like, no. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, Perona does struggle, but who knows? With a list like this, maybe we can make it more similar to the Green-Black eShow list we were looking at. Let me bring that one back up. If we make it similar to the Green-Black eShow list, maybe make it more into the control variant, because I think what people used to do with Green-Black Perona was they had like 8-cost Gecko Moria, and then they can go into 10-cost Doflamingo from there, and that was an absolutely degenerate curve, right? That was a disgustingly good curve. But who knows? In a deck like this, maybe if we're playing against our opponent and we go, okay, let's go ahead and rest one of their characters that costs 4 or less on an 8-Dawn turn. Imagine if we go, okay, activate main, rest one of your 4 or less, and then we can play out the Rosinante, cheating out the X-Drake to KO it. You see what I'm saying? Like, that could have massive value there. Or, who knows, if they have a rested 5 cost, we can give it -1 cost, play out the Rosinante, play out the X-Drake to take care of it in that way. So there could be some decent options there. Green-Yellow Yamato, this is kind of interesting, I'm not going to lie, because if I can just keep poking away at my opponent's life, and then I can just kind of build this list a little bit more defensively, make it a little bit more similar to the red-green Luffy list, and just make it super, super defensive, that could be kind of interesting. I'll bring that up again, guys, while we talk about it. I think it could be very interesting to build Yamato in more this direction, but obviously put in the yellow cards that you need instead. And, you know, yellow, especially Land of Wano stuff, they have some really, really cool options for the 4-cost slot, where maybe we don't, we can't really run Zoro because our leader's not Film or Straw Hat, so maybe instead we actually just run the 4-cost 6K Kikanojo, and now we have threats coming out of our life as well, right? There could be something interesting there. That actually could be very interesting, right? Because then once we hit them a few times with double attack and they're down to, 3 or less life, well, now we're attaching 2 free Dawn every turn while we're curving out in this way. That could be very, very strong. Okay, of course, we already went over Bonnie. Carrot's in the same idea, the same camp as Jory Bonnie, if I'm being honest, guys. It's a 5-cost, 5,000 or 5 life, 5,000 power leader, but it's kind of backwards from Bonnie, where Bonnie has to use their effect on the opponent's turn. Carrot uses their effect on Carrot's turn. You have to have a Minx character on the board, though, to do this. Now, we already kind of want to run the 5-cost Carrot anyway, so maybe we can make some adjustments to make this list a little bit better, okay? Green-Purple Limb, definitely can't make it. I don't think we can make this work in Green-Purple Limb. This is trying to do something way too specific with the Odyssey-type characters, right? Green-Yellow Law, whoops, Green-Yellow Law is very interesting because we are running quite a few Supernova characters in the deck already. Maybe this is the next deck I will explore, messing around with this specific package. Because now, I'm actually starting to brainstorm here, guys. I've got some very interesting ideas. I will come back to Green-Yellow Law, but I think I can make a Bruiser-style Green-Yellow Law deck work with something very similar to the package you see on the screen here. Maybe not. We'll have to see. But there could be some potential there. Okay, then moving over to Jinbei. End of your turn, if you have 6 or less cards in your hand, set up to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type character cards up to 1 Dawn is active. Not great. That's not really what we're trying to do, but who knows? I'm not an expert when it comes to the Fishman package stuff, like with Shirahoshi. The Fishman Island, and Merfolk stuff, I'm not really an expert in that category, but you guys tell me what y'all think. Could y'all make, like, the base package we looked at before? Could y'all make that work? Maybe. We'll have to see, right? We'll have to see if we can make something like that work. Shirahoshi, same exact idea here. This is a deck that's trying to do something very specific by cheating cards out from hand, just by flipping life because your leader can't attack. Probably want to stay away from this one, but there could be something there. Who knows? Now, Zoro probably is kind of doing what we're doing already, right? Let me go over to Green Joribani for this list here. I think this is basically, you know, if you just remove Bonnie and then run Zoro in the place of it, I think you'll be fine. And then what you'll be able to do in that situation is, okay, I no longer need this carrot, right? We can go minus 5 or -4 of the carrot for +4 of the what's her name here, the 5-cost Tashigi, and then okay, now we no longer need this searcher event, and now we can run the Perona. We could probably even get rid of this beige and go from there. You see what I'm saying? And that's kind of the whole point here, guys. Let me go back to green. If I remove Bonnie and put Zoro in the place here, where is Zoro at? There he is. You know, this package can just move around, right? You can and you can adapt it to whatever your leader's trying to do. Like, oh, we have a Slash Straw Hat Supernova leader. Okay, seems really good. We've got this Perona for searching, and we have, and then we can move a bunch of cards around in here. Like, we no longer need the Uruj, we no longer need this Uda, but then we can run the 4-cost Zoro we were looking at earlier, and that's going to help us be way more aggressive. Whereas here is we could run 4 of these, and we could just move everything around from there and make it more appropriate for this package here with Zoro. Really good stuff there. Okay, so what else do we got here? Let me load this back in. Let me go to leaders. We're almost done, guys. We're going through every single possible leader interaction here. Eustace Kid is about, it's kind of outdated. If you're going to try to run Eustace Kid, you probably should just look into Zoro. I'm sorry if you like this, you know, if you like Eustace Kid as a character, but I would probably just run Zoro right now if I was trying to build an aggressive, you know, tempo style green aggro mid-range deck or whatever you want to call that. Now, Green Blue Zanji, okay, Zoro and Sanji. This has me really interested as well in this package we're looking at. Actually, let me go to the red green Luffy version because it's going to have a little bit more stuff for us. Excuse me. Where is it? Right here. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so something more like this. I think we can probably, now let me say this. Now, with the way that Green Blue Zanji functions, okay, I don't think we need this 10-cost Doflamingo anymore. I mean, maybe we do. Maybe we should run it regardless. And, of course, we couldn't run any of the red cards. But look at this, guys. We're going to be able to run the Zoro in here. We're going to be able to flood the board with the 8-cost Doflamingo. Maybe instead of running the 8-cost, instead of running the 8-cost Doflamingo, maybe we actually run Dracula Mihawk. And now we can run Kid and Killer, and we're a Slash type leader, so we can also incorporate the Peronas and build around that. We can incorporate more Slash characters into the deck like you see here. We're actually running a ton of Slash characters as is. We have the Mihawk and everything, and at that point maybe we go -1 Rosinante because the Mihawk will kind of take the place of the Rosinante, you know, in this version of the deck. And then the Cavendish, it's a Slash character, but it's not really doing what we want because our leader's not Supernova. Unfortunately, man, how unfortunate. If our leader was Supernova, it'd be so insane. But either way, We have a lot of supernovas that are searchable, so I think we would still want to run Kid and Killer, especially with our leader effect. We can bounce stuff back, but we'll have to see. Hopefully you guys see what's going on here. But with this Trafalgar Law right here, the Perona and the Kid and Killer can both search up this supernova card, and it's a slash and supernova card. And this right here, with our leader effect, we're going to be able to pull these cards back to our hand, do all kinds of crazy shenanigans to get extra card advantage and whatnot, and we can go from there. And notice this is just running green cards. I'm not doing like a deep dive into every single leader, just trying to give an idea. Okay, so there could be something there. Okay, and last but not least, okay, we already went over Green Black E-Show, so last but not least is Uda. This is a film leader, so I mean, guys, with the package we're running here, notice some of these cards, like this Zoro, and not this one, but this Zoro right here is film. This Trafalgar Law is film. Unfortunately, this Luffy's not film. That is unfortunate, but hey, it is what it is. This Sanji is film. There are so many different options, guys, that we can start messing around with Uda as well. But yeah, so that's about all I have for you guys today. That was really the main idea, is I wanted to show you all this. I mean, I'm just calling it like the 458 Bruiser package for now, guys. It's the 458 Green Bruiser package. And why is it called that? Remember, the whole idea is kind of built around these different themes we have here, right? Let me get some of the stuff off the screen here so it can just make more sense. Because it is specifically the 5 cost slot, the 4 cost slot, and then the 8 cost with Rosinante here. This is the whole entire idea, is we have these 4 cost cards to go out on curve with that also can be played out off of effects like Luffy's Restand for Dawn or Mihawk's Restand for Dawn. And then and we're also missing, hang on, I got to bring Uda back into the picture here because she was really nice. She's another 4 cost character that can cheat out of 5 cost, right? And then when we get to the 8 cost stuff, we have this Rosinante that's cheating out the 5 cost stuff, right? And so is this Law cheating out the 5 cost stuff. So that's the whole idea, is this 4, 5, and 8 package here. It's just kind of, and then the 6s, of course, are just meant to be with the curve, but it just works out so perfectly. It seems so nice. And of course, this is meant specifically for your tempo mid-range Bruiser style decks. It's not meant for control. It can kind of be interpreted as aggro, but it's not really aggro either. It's really, maybe in Green Blue's Zanji it will be. But typically speaking, this will be for a mid-range Bruiser style deck. All right, well, I'm done yapping, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and tell me what you thought about this in the comment section below. Today was more of a theory crafting style video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. And yeah, let me get the outro page on here. Guys, thank you if you made it this far. I appreciate you guys. And guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, using my TCG Player affiliate link, if you're donating through Patreon or PayPal, if you're a Playmat supporter, YouTube member, Discord community, whatever you're doing to help me out and help out the community, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Till next time, peace.